Here begins the book called Decameron, known also as the Book of Prince Galahad, comprising 100 stories told in the course of 10 days by 7 ladies and 3 young men. It is inherently human to show pity to those who are afflicted. It is a quality that becomes any person, but most particularly is it required of those who have stood in need of consolation and have obtained it from others. Now, if ever there was a man who craved pity or valued it or rejoiced in it, that man was I. From my tenderest youth until today, I have been aflame with love, with the loftiest and most noble love. Maybe it has far exceeded anything suited to my inferior condition, speaking for myself, although persons of discretion have commended me for it, and formed an undeservedly high opinion of me once they have been apprised of it. This love has, none the less, proved well-nigh unendurable, not because my beloved has rebuffed me, far from it, but because my disordered appetite has ignited in my heart an uncontrollable fire which has refused to leave me satisfied with moderate expectations, but has caused me constant and quite needless vexation.
Francesco laughed. A few days after this, equipped with a mount, he left for Milan to assume his office of podesta. His wife stayed behind, a free woman in her own home. She thought over what Sunday Best had said to her, and how much he loved her. Why, he had given away his horse for love of her. And as she saw him pass her house the whole time, she said to herself, "What am I doing? Why am I wasting my youth? My man's gone to Milan and won't be back for 6 months. When will he make them up to me? When I'm an old woman? Anyway, when should I ever find another suitor like Sunday Best? I'm on my own. I've no one to be afraid of. Why shouldn't I make hay while the sun shines? I'll never have another chance like this one, and no one's ever to know. Besides, what if anyone did? I'd sooner do it and then repent than kick myself for not having done it." After thus musing, the day came when she hung out 2 towels from the window giving onto the garden, as Sunday Best had said. Sunday Best was delighted to see them. That night he made his furtive way on his own to the garden gate, which he found open. He passed through to a door leading into the house, where the lady was waiting for him. She stood up and went to him as soon as she saw him come in, and welcomed him with open arms. They couldn't stop hugging and kissing. Then he followed her upstairs, and a moment later they were lying in each other's arms and indulging. This was the first occasion, but by no means the last, while the husband was in Milan, and after his return home as well. Sunday Best was a frequent visitor, and never ceased to give and obtain satisfaction.
A ready tongue is a fine thing in any circumstance, but, in my opinion, it is never better than when it answers an immediate need. The story I intend to tell you concerns a gentlewoman who possessed this ability. The result was that not only did she rejoice her listeners, but, as you shall hear, she eluded a humiliating death sentence that lay in store for her. They used to have a law in Prato, and a harsh, objectionable law it was, that required all women indiscriminately to be burnt at the stake if caught by their husbands in adultery, just as though they had been found consorting with another man for payment. Now it happened while this statute was in force that a beautiful and exceptionally love-struck lady called Philippa was discovered in her room one night by her husband Rinaldo de Pugliese in the arms of Lazzarino de Guazzaliotri. He was a handsome young nobleman of Prato who doted upon her as she did upon him. Rinaldo was beside himself with rage when he saw this, and he was on the point of flinging himself at them and murdering the pair of them. Indeed, all that restrained him was his fear of the consequences if he gave free rein to his anger.
Afterwards, they amused themselves for a good while in their accustomed fashion, singing and dancing, until the Queen, conforming to precedent, bade Pamphilo sing a song, regardless of all the songs many of them had been singing unbidden. Pamphilo was willing, and thus began.
Happiness, love in my spirit resides. Though I burn, love I burn. I love my heart in your friendship bursting with joy and transported with rapture. Such is my state. Now my heart is given over to one who is utterly peerless, leaping my spirits and far beyond capture. Bliss lights my face and my eyes enliven. Nothing can hurt me, my heart is quite fearless, now that my love in the Empyrean abides.
Now that my love in